This video is made possible by North Naperville Autos. If you're looking for a quality used car in the Chicagoland area, North Naperville Autos is here to help. Browse their inventory at northnapervilleautos.com and drive home in a new vehicle today.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2000 Honda Accord Special Edition. Up front is a 2.3 liter inline 4, and down below is a 4-speed automatic transmission. Now I'm super excited to be driving this here Honda Accord for two main reasons. First of all, this particular car only has 34,000 miles on it, which is barely broken in terms of a Honda, or really in terms of any vehicle. And so it's always awesome to be driving something with such low miles because it gives me a really good idea of what the car was like when it rolled off the factory floor. The second reason I'm excited is because when I grew up, being born in 1997, everyone I knew had one of these Accords. Family, friends, neighbors, teachers, they drove Honda Accords just like this. And so I'm excited to finally get behind the wheel of one and see what all the hubbub was about when I was about 3 years old. But before we get on with the rest of the video, if you are looking to help out the channel, there are a couple links in the description below from our awesome sponsors. One of which is Cash for Cars if you're looking to sell your used car. One is from Fixed, a Bluetooth OBD2 sensor to help diagnose your vehicle, and another from Conplates. Conplates is a suction cup license plate mount for your vehicle in case you don't want to drill into your front bumper. Each purchase or quote goes towards helping the channel, and it's greatly appreciated, so let's get on with the video. So let's get back to that 2.3 liter under the hood. I'll put the horsepower and torque up on the screen. It's nothing really interesting. However, this car does feel decently peppy. And I think the reason for that is because it feels thin, it feels lightweight, and it's before the Honda Accord really got big. Granted, to date, as of 1998 when this car debuted, it was the biggest Honda Accord to date. But since then, they have only gotten bigger. And so now, in hindsight, this feels small. But really, other than that, the car drives, shifts, and functions pretty normally. Last but not least, of course, the Accord is front-wheel drive. So let's talk about the interior. We have some interesting parts to talk about in here. Well, in front of me, I have three main gauges. On the left, I have my tachometer. In the center, I get my speedometer. And on the right, I get my fuel, coolant temperature, gear, and which doors are open. The gauges are nice, plain and simple. However, I like that, and it's to be expected from Honda. On the steering wheel, I have cruise control to the bottom right, and of course my horn and airbag, but that's it. Very basic. To the left of me, I just have a cruise control button and a little pull-out cubby or ashtray, whatever you want to use it for. And then on the door, I have my lock and unlock, power mirrors, and power windows. Moving into the center, we have two climate control vents that surround a digital clock and my hazard switch. Then I have the climate control options, very basic here, where to send it, fan speed and temperature. However, 21 years later, it is blowing ice cold on this 95-degree day, so I am very thankful for that. And then we have the standard Honda radio with a cassette player, AM, FM, and CD. Then I get this nice little cubby just below the radio. And I say it's really nice because, yeah, you could store stuff in here, but if you wanted to fit an aftermarket double DIN radio, it is the perfect size for it. Then I get a giant cubby down by my right knee on the center console. Very nice. And I get a power outlet, 12 volt, 10 amp power outlet. Very nice. And then we have the shifter itself. The shifter is surrounded by this sort of fake wood. I'm not really in love with it. You see it on the door for the window switches as well, but I have to say it's rather hit or miss. I don't really care about it. But the actual shifter itself feels good. It has a nice satisfying click when you do put it into gear. And that's all I can really ask for from an automatic transmission. Feels solid, reliable, and I trust it. Then moving down below, we have two hidden away cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the 2000 Honda Accord Special Edition, and it passes. Honda is very good about their cup holder size in modern Hondas, but even back in 2000, you could bring your big friggin' bottle along if it even existed back then. Then I do get a little center console and the seats. The seats are comfortable. They're this very 90s cloth feel. They're soft, they're warm. I really, really like it. Very typical of Japanese cars from this era. And I think they're some of my favorite seats, and I think they hold up really well as long as you keep them clean. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2000 Honda Accord Special Edition. First of all, let's get the basics out of the way. Knee room, great. I'm 5'11". I'm not hitting the ceiling. My knees aren't hitting the seat in front of me. That's all I can really ask for. I have power windows. I do get a center console. I have to dig out a little bit, but I get cup holders back here. And that's pretty much it. It's the same material as the front seats. I don't really get many amenities back here or anything, but just being back here brings back so many memories. I'll talk about later in the video, but I mean, just the trips to Brookfield Zoo, being picked up from class, soccer practice, football practice. I mean, just so many memories in the back seat like this. Really, really cool. But let's go take a quick look at the trunk, and then we'll talk about the looks. So I do have a trunk popper here on the key fob, and it actually lifts up slightly. So all I have to do is just finish the job. Really, really light trunk. However, once we're in the trunk, huge size trunk. Really, really like that. Over here I have like my jack and things, some parts like that. I do get a donut spare tire, which is super nice, but the actual size back here is really, really awesome. I love this fact. You're gonna be able to fit plenty of stuff back here. Go to college in this car, whatever you need to do, go camping, whatever, you're gonna be able to do with this trunk. Really, really fantastic size. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I think it's one of the worst parts of the car. Not because it looks bad. You know, I definitely have a ton of nostalgia with this body style, as I'll talk about a little bit later on. And so I think it looks good in that respect, but the tan on tan doesn't really do it for me, if I'm being completely honest. It's a little bit too much tan, a little bit too much champagne. Definitely an older color, although this champagne color is kind of making a comeback now in 2021 with the new Nissan Rogue and vehicles like that, but I can't say I'm in love with it. But now we got to get on to my final thoughts on this here Honda Accord. Well, first of all, I want to talk about my personal connection with this. A very close childhood friend had parents that had one of these. Shout out to my good friend Jake. I remember riding that Accord quite frequently, and I believe it had a Bosch sticker on the back, some type of bumper sticker that made it easy to find. My neighbor that lived 3 houses down from me had one of these for the longest time. I think they got rid of it 2 years ago, maybe. I had a teacher in high school that drove one of these, and they had crashed it, and the hood was bent up like a tent, and they asked me how to fix that, because they knew that I was into cars in high school. And I looked at them and I said, buy a new hood. But long story short, I feel like a lot of people I knew growing up had this body style of Honda Accord, which is interesting because they only made these for 4 years, 1998 through 2002. Why were these so popular? Why did everyone drive one of these? Well, I don't quite have an answer for why they drove them back in the day, but I understand why they kept driving them, which is my final talking point of the fact that this is peak Honda reliability. I've driven so many Hondas, and Honda is famed for its reliability, but in recent years, with their 1.5 turbo engines having some oil issues and their CVTs having some shifting issues, Honda isn't the top dog anymore. They're still decently reliable cars, but not as reliable as they used to be. You can go 8 months without driving this car. Get in, turn the key, and go. And that's not because this car has 34,000 miles. That would reign true if it had 134,000 miles, 234,000 miles. These cars are dead reliable. They're simple. They're not bogged down by stop-start technology. They're not heavy with their blind spot monitors, cross-traffic alert, head-on collision alert, automatic braking. None of that stuff. They're not bogged down by any of that stuff. This is when Honda was truly reliable. And you know what? The further and further we get away from the 2000s, that was my golden age. Those were the years of coming of age when I was learning everything about the world. I grew up in the 2000s. I'm a late 90s baby, and I wish I could go back to the simple times. And driving this car helps me revisit my childhood just for a short little drive. What more can I ask? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to North Naperville Autos for letting me take out their 2000 Honda Accord Special Edition. This is one of their used vehicles. This thing is absolutely awesome, flawless, spotless, and beautiful. So please go check them out. They have tons of awesome, interesting cars I think you guys will quite enjoy. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.